Hello, in this video we will be looking at the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse 42. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanang kulasya cha patanti pitaro hyeshang lupatapindodika kriyaha. I'll now bring up the text for you. Here we are. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanang kulasya cha patanti pitaro hyeshang luptapindodaka kriyaha. Now, for those who hadn't already seen it, in the previous verse, in my earlier note, I had construed this sankara, what are we doing? The sankara, as putting together. That was a mistake. I fell into an error. I had mistakenly treated it as from sang, with, together, and from the root kri, meaning to do or to make. That was a mistake that I confess. It's from the separate root, which is, here we are, try a highlight here with a long ri, either kr or kri, meaning to pour or to scatter or to heap up. And sankara, therefore, means either putting things all together in a heap, or with the idea of kind of indiscriminately mixing them up, like when you sweep a floor, everything goes into a pile of sweepings. Here, the idea is a kind of mingling of things that should not be mingled. And here we're, of course, looking specifically at the social system that underlay this verse, that underlay the kind of thinking that we see described in this verse, particularly in what's known as the caste system, where the mixing of castes is not a good thing. So sankaro, this admixing, narakayaiva, this first line does not contain a verb. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanang kulasya cha. The second line is a complete sentence on its own with a verb. In fact, the verb is the first word, patanti. So what takes the place of a verb here is this particular use of the dative. So naraka, meaning, okay, let's just translate it as hell, for want of a better word, a lower place, a bad destination. And naraka, so sankaro narakaya. Now, where you have a dative here used, as it were, absolutely just on its own, sankaro narakaya, that very frequently has the meaning of is conducive to, leads to, will result in. So sankaro narakaya, admixture to hell, meaning the result of this admixing of castes will be hell. That's the effect of this dative here. And the effect of the eva, meaning only, nothing but. There's a range of meanings, but mostly it means kind of only. So narakaya eva by sandhi becomes narakayaiva, means to hell only. The idea is that that's the only result it can produce. And nothing but hell will result, or hell only, hell necessarily and only will result from this admixture. Now, we see here two genitives, kulagnanang kulasya cha, for the family killers and for the family. In English, we'll say it results in hell for somebody, the Sanskrit and same in Pali idiom is it results in hell of somebody. It's the same idiom that we've seen, for example, if say it's difficult for someone to do in English. In Sanskrit and Pali, would use the genitive there. It's difficult of somebody. Exactly the same meaning. It's just idiomatically the genitive is used there. So that is why. So here, let me get back to where we were. Sorry, here we are. So narakayaiva. So admixture. Narakayaiva leads only, results only, is conducive only to hell. For whom, in Sanskrit you say of whom, of the kulagnanam kulasyacha. The kula, we know, means the family, or the extended family, could translate it as the clan or something like that. The gna is from the root han, meaning to kill. This root morphs quite a bit. Its Proto-Indo-European root had a gna in it, a g. And sometimes this g mostly got lenited to a h when the root stands on its own, han, hata, but the g will sometimes come back, particularly where the root vowel drops. So as a suffix, a family killer, the suffix is not kulahana or kulahan, it's kulagna, is from the same word. So kulagna literally is a family killer. The people who are guilty of killing the family, either physically killing them or destroying the kuladharma, the family, everything that makes the family, the rights, the rituals, the laws, the customs, all of these things are the dharma. So the admixture, as we've described, leads only to hell. For whom? Kulaknanam, for the family killers, kulasyacha, and for the family. In other words, the family will go there and the family killers will go there. And the next line, patanti pitaro hyeshang luktapindodaka kriyaha. And even pitarohi, and even their fathers, esham, is the genitive plural of them. So pitarohi esham, even their fathers, patanti, fall or will fall. The root pat, to fall. Pitaro, fathers, that pitar, of course we see it reflected in English, father, in the Latin pater, and so on. And the plural is pitaro. So patanti pitaro hiesham means not only the family and the family killers will go to hell, but also their fathers. I think here meaning the extended meaning of ancestors, not just the direct physical father of the individual, but their forefathers. Pitaro hiesham patanti. Even their fathers will fall, meaning go to hell. That's what it means here. Lupta pindodika kriyaha. Lupta pindodika kriyaha is a compound adjective. It's a bahuvrihi adjective. It means whose, pindodika kriya, literally food, water, acts, ceremonies, lupta, have been lupta, means they who have been deprived of they whose pindodika kriya have been lupta or are lupta, are robbed of their food and water act. I'll come to the significance of kriya in a moment. This lup, actually, possibly cognate with our English word rob. So lupta, robbed, and you can see the etymological connection there. So pindorika kriya. There are two ways of interpreting that phrase. It could be a pure dvandva, three things, pinda, udaka, and kriya, or kriya, act ceremonies. Which particular acts and ceremonies? The pindodika, the food and water ceremonies. It can be interpreted in either way. Now, the word kriya here, firstly, it's the ordinary usual word for an act from the root kri, kriya. It's the root, let me give you the iPad. It's, oops, sorry. I don't seem to. I'm not able to get it in the right place. There we are. Let's try it this way. Not entirely satisfactory, but it will have to do. So root, well known root kri, meaning to do, and plus the verbal noun suffix ya. We see this phenomenon, for example, vid plus ya, vidya, knowledge. Now, the kr plus ya by internal santi, the r becomes full consonantal r. So consonant r, so kri ya. So that is how by santi kriya becomes kriya. And of course, so written, it's full consonantal kriya. So it means an act, but in this particular context of ceremonies and the performing the correct rituals and acts, it has the significance of a ceremonial act. In fact, etymologically, the Sanskrit kriya and the Latin kere, kriya kere, ceremonia, kriamana, done, ceremonia, which in English is ceremony, ceremonia, ceremony, are likely to be from the same origin. So, in other words, it's not just acts here, but as the word has been specialized in Latin, it's particularly ceremonial acts. And these are acts that are necessary for the welfare of the family, or in this particular case, for the ancestors of the family. Now, there are particular ritual acts that are done by offerings of food and water to the deceased. Now, the pinda literally means just a ball, anything kind of rolled up into a ball. And if you think of the ways you were eating before you had cutlery, rather than just scooping it up into your hand, you would roll with the rice and your supa, which means your spice or whatever, roll it into a little ball, and then it's kind of a little edible ball of food that can be cleanly picked up with the fingers and put into the mouth. That is the pinda. The original meaning, as I say, meaning something just rolled into a ball. And pata means dropping, by the way. So when the monks go on their arms round, in Pali it would be the same in Sanskrit, if they pinda pata, the dropping of these little kind of morsels, mouthfuls of food, the pinda pata, the dropping of your pindani of food. And udaka, of course, in some water. That udara, wet water, udara, come from the etymologically the same root via Greek as hydor, comes into English as hydroelectric, udara, water, it's all the same root. So, patanti pitarohi esham, there, of them, their fathers too fall, meaning here fall from their divine abode into hell. Now, an adjective, robbed food water ceremonies, robbed, deprived of, the kriya, the food and water ceremonies. Now, remember here, kriya is a feminine noun. Let me call up the text again. Oh, sorry. Here we are. Kriya, if I made a note of it here. Kriya, so it generally means an act in a ritual context, specialized meaning of prescribed rites and rituals. Okay. So the kriya is a feminine noun meaning an act. Now, where we have this as the final member of a compound, an adjectival compound, here it is adjectival because it's describing the pitara, the fathers, the ancestors, it now behaves like an ordinary adjective ending in a short ah. So if you talk about an individual person, say there was just talking about one person who was deprived of these rituals, that one person would be lupta pindodika kriya. So the kriya on its own, a feminine noun, loses its status as a feminine noun and becomes like any other adjective ending in an a. The kriya here is because it's the masculine, nominative masculine plural to agree with pitaro, pitaraha, pitaro. So remember, it now behaves like an adjective, agreeing with its noun. So patanti pitaro hiesham, lupta pindodaka kriya. So pinda udaka, pasanti pindodaka. So they fall from their position as the family man is. That's my interpretation. It possibly means either that they suffer in some way, may even mean that they too go to hell. I don't actually know that. Anyone who does know, welcome to tell me, please. So we'll just go through it quickly again. So sankaro, the admixture, narakayaiva, leads only to hell. Kulagnanam, for the family killers, kulasyacha, and for the family. Patanti pitaro hesham, and even their fathers, patanti, fall from whatever status it is they're falling. Lupta pindodika kriya, deprived of the ceremonies of food and water, the ceremony involving giving food and water to the deceased. So I will read it through once more. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanang kulasya cha patanti pitaro hyeshang lupta pindodaka kriyaha. By the way, note that the anuswara here before an L, you will, I think, mostly hear it pronounced as just an and with a slight hint of an L, lupta. So not lupta. I don't think you'd hear the Brahmins reciting it like that. So once more before we wind up this video. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanang kulasya cha patanti pitaro hyeshang lupta pindodaka kriyaha. And that's it on this video.